I dreamt that I stood inside of a church, and I believe this church was St. Patrick Cathedral, located in Manhattan, Fifth Avenue. And I was seated inside this church, and there was like a service going on, or a service was about to take place. And up in the front of this church, I seen a heavy-set white nun. This heavy-set white nun displayed a look of frustration upon her face. And after I seen the nun, I decided to leave this area where you go and sit in pews. And I went out into the hallway of this church. And then the next thing I noticed that I was standing on a balcony or somewhere in this church, and I was looking down in the lobby, and I seen a black man seated at a table. And I noticed several young black men. They appeared to be musicians. They had guitars or stuff around them. And I heard the men ask the black man at the table, is there any place for them to wash? So the black man responded to the musician question, and by saying, well, if you are scheduled to be here for a couple of days, then there's a place for you to go and wash up in. And then I believe I seen the musician leave the area. And then all of a sudden, the black man at the desk began to use profanity. Then I heard what he was saying after he spouted out a great deal of profanity. I heard him mentioning that that this particular church was seating white people first and let the black people be seated last. And then in this dream, I found myself looking outside of the church, and I seen a lot of white people standing outside from the church, and also black people were standing also in front of this church. And I sensed like a 9/11 incident took place in this dream, and people were going to church to pray for forgiveness or pray for God to help them in their time of need. And before I left this dream, I gone back inside the church, and I noticed that the white people sat on one side in the church, and the black people sat on one side. And then I left this dream, and of course I woke up from it. The next number in this segment is the number 11. The segment is called Section 10, To Church Dream, or S102CHRD. In the month of November 2nd, 2010, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I stood in my room here at Halsey Street, and my mother was in this room, and I believe I was trying to tie a tie, and I believe I was wearing a long sleeve dress shirt. Then my mother asked me who were those people outside in front of our house. Then I looked out the window like my mother did, and I noticed a Korean man and people outside in front of my house. And I said to my mother, oh, it's those people from the Korean church. I don't know why they are here. I'm not ready to see them yet. Then in front of my house, I seen an Asian man, which I sensed was a deacon. He was sitting in a chair, and his back was towards the window of the room that my mother and I were in. And I also saw like a van in front of my house, and it had like a heavy-set black woman singing gospel music, and I believe there were maybe one or two other people singing gospel music with her. And then I took my eyes off the people in front of my house from this Korean church. Actually, these people in this dream came from a church which is called Bible Crusade, and I identified them as the people from the Bible Crusade. Then I took my eyes off the people that were outside, and I looked at my mother, and I noticed she was still staring through the window. And then I looked back through the window, and I noticed that the Asian man was not there anymore, but I just seen the obese lady singing gospel music. She was alone this time, and then I woke up from this dream. The next number in this segment is the number 12. This piece is called Section 10, Three-Corner Store Dream, or S10-1, or S10-3, CRNSTD. In the month of January 1st, 2011, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I stood in front of the corner store once again on Halsey Street and Stuyvesant, and the owner of the store stood in front of the entrance of his grocery store, and he extended his hand out towards me, and I shook his hand. And he mentioned to me that he was leaving the country, and that he's leaving, you know, the store as an owner. And while I was shaking his hand, I felt like I needed to speak in tongues, because once again, this was like the third time I dreamt about this store leaving the area. No, I didn't speak in tongues while I was still shaking the guy's hand, but I think when this dream do come and pass, it's going to trigger something in me. Maybe because the store is like more or less a hop and skip away from my house. But anyhow, I almost began speaking tongues, and then I left this dream and I awakened from it. The next number in this piece is the number 13. This segment is called Section 10, One Cars and Black Dream, or S10-1 CRS-BLKD. In the month of February 1st, 2011, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I was in a line somewhere. I was in a lane somewhere, car lane. I was driving a car alone. The road I was on looked familiar. I believe I dreamt about this road 2 weeks ago. I noticed my rear view mirror was tilted. And the car that I was in was kind of small. I was nervously driving because I haven't driven a car in years. It was daytime. The lane I was in was not crowded. A car from behind me bumped my car from the rear. Now in this dream, I noticed that the car that bumped me in the rear, he stopped his car, then he turned his steering wheel, and he drove around me, then he drove in front of me, and while I was continued driving slowly, I noticed two cops seated in a police car, and they were staring at me, and I didn't want to drive fast because I didn't want to get a ticket. And then I found myself inside this bathroom, and I noticed a man and a girl were in the bathroom. Well, actually, I noticed two black men and one black girl in the bathroom with me. And I just want to back up a few seconds. Before I enter into this bathroom, two black men and a black girl was standing outside in front of the bathroom. And before I entered the bathroom, one of the black men attempted to try to punch me for some crazy reason, but he didn't punch me. His fist did not connect to my chin. So I entered the bathroom, and these people followed me into the bathroom. Then they locked the bathroom door, and it was just me and the three other people. And then I questioned myself, why are they locking me in this bathroom? I didn't become afraid. The only thing I told myself in this dream is that God is with me, and whatever happened, God is going to be in the midst of this situation. And then I woke up from this this kind of whacked out dream. The next number in this piece is the number 14. This segment is called Section 10, One Church / Moon and Bright Star Dream, or S101 CHR / MNBR STD. In the month of February 18, 2011, I recorded this dream inside my dream book. Today I dreamt that I was standing around downtown Brooklyn, and it was daytime. It was a little gray out. I stood across the street from the Brooklyn Tabernacle, which used to be my old church back in the mid-'80s. I was a member of that church for quite a while. I even met Pastor Simler of this church, and a lot of senior people in the Brooklyn Tabernacle back in the mid-'80s. And I observed the Brooklyn Tabernacle senior staff. The senior staff all walked together in one line. They were walking they were walking behind one another in one line. And they were walking a bit fast. Then I looked to see where they were heading to. Then I discovered they were walking towards, I believe, a new Brooklyn Tabernacle building, which was kind of tall. Then I seen, which was Pastor Jim Simler, walk in front of me with his back turned towards me. I was surprised to see him walk alone on Fulton Street. His feet protruded outward. They was like, tilted outward. It was like, outward, not inward. It was like bizarre. While he was walking, his feet was just outward. And he too walked quickly towards the new Brooklyn Tabernacle. Then the next thing I took notice of in this dream was now the sky became slightly dark, and then I noticed the moon and the Orion constellation. The moon was a bit bright, and the Orion constellation was a bit brighter, and the moon was in the left side of the sky, and the constellation Orion was on the right side of the sky. And then all of a sudden, it slightly became a little darker, I believe, and the moon glowed even brighter. And then on the side of the Orion constellation, many stars, a whole bunch of little tiny stars, appeared practically from nowhere. And these clusters of new stars I haven't seen before, next to the Orion constellation, stood between the Orion constellation and the constellation of Taurus. And I woke up from this dream, and this dream kind of impressed me so much so that I made a small conception of what I seen pertaining to the moon and the many stars and Orion. Okay, as you see here, there's the moon. It turned slightly dark. That's the Orion constellation, and here's all the little stars just gleaming in the evening sky or the darkened sky.